Alright, welcome to this video. In this video, I will show you some backtesting we have done since September to December on Bitcoin. And with this, I will introduce you to one of the trading strategies we can do with our trading bot AlmaOne. So have a look on the results first. So as I said, it was backtesting from December 1st to December 13th. And yeah, the results on this were like 73% on Bitcoin. So we started this backtesting with a starting capital of $50,000. Let's have a look on the statistics. So in total, we made a net profit of $36,000, which is 73%. And we have made 39 trades with 28 winning trades. Those trades were pretty successful. So we had an overall drawdown on our equity of 13%, which is for a bot not bad. And on our balance, we had a maximum drawdown of 6.8%, which is also not bad for a bot. Yeah, let's have a look on the strategy. So the strategy we have here in this backtest, and this is now the important part, is not like a normal grid strategy you see on many other bots. No, this bot was started with the intention to create a supply and demand bot. So we have implemented a supply and demand strategy. So the equity curve, you see it goes straight up, which is good, but you also see some smaller drawdowns here, here. This is because we are not just opening more positions. Now we are closing them as well. Behind this, you have the option to set a fixed stop loss or a daily loss. So in that backtest, we're using a daily loss limit. So we limited our loss to a bit less than 1%. But this is just statistics and theory. Let me show you how this backtest actually looks when it runs on the chart. So we switched now from our fast execution to our visual mode. So you will see exactly what's happening here. So as I said, this is a supply and demand bot. What it does is it creates supply and demand zones, depending on which time frame you choose. So we have chosen in our scenario here the hourly time frame. And just in the beginning, you see we have already one supply zone here on the top, which would be traded if the price goes up here and gets a confirmation on the price. And we expect that it will drop back. So just let it run to see our first trade or our first interesting action on the chart. All right, so now we have also a demand zone. So we have a demand zone here at the bottom and we have a supply zone here on the top. It's interesting to know that not every high and low is automatically a supply or a demand zone. We have certain confirmations in this to define, okay, under which scenarios we want to define the demand and under which scenarios we want to define the supply zone. So let's wait for the first or next interesting action. All right, so what you see here is the price was going a few times towards our demand zone, but was never touching the zone or was never getting into those zones. So that's why we never executed a trade, because there was no confirmation. But then here on our last candle, we see there was a massive sell-off of Bitcoin. So we broke that line. Also here, we just not did open a trade just because we went into the zone. We were waiting and see if there's a confirmation. So even though if we break straight through, there is no trade opened. So let's wait. And also important point here is we are not keeping this zone active because it was confirmed that this one is no longer a valid demand zone because it was broken. Okay, so we have our first trade. Let me zoom in a bit. We defined a super small supply zone here because our conditions and our prerequisites for a supply zone were met. So we have defined supply zone here and we have entered the first trade here, there on this bar. So we came back and we were in the zone. We did not broke through, so we opened the trade. So let's see what happens. we have opened a second trade, which is absolutely okay because you can never measure the exact entry. So that's common practice to just average into the trade. And as long as you're in an acceptable range of opening trades, yeah, open more trades, but never always get like 100%. Just get like 1%, 2%, 3%. Just build your position slowly. But you see, we are still close to our zone here. We have not much momentum, not much action here in this area. So let's see how this goes. As I said, still a supply zone, but interesting fact here, we broke through this already. So this is no longer a valid zone, but we keep this trade open because that's our rule set. And there we are. We've made our trade and we have closed and locked first profits. In total, we have made $4,300 here with those two trades because we have opened here on this supply zone. We just created a second supply zone here, and then it was like a hard drop downwards, and yeah, we locked this. This made us straight 9%. Interesting here, this trade 9% took us 2 weeks. So we started on 1st of November and it was opened on 12th of November. So it was almost 2 weeks that this trade was opened. So if you want to have success in the long term, you have to be very, very patient in the short term. Very interesting and important fact you have to remember. So, so we made our first 9% on this one. So let's continue. All right, so we see we have just a new trade here opened. This trade was open because we had a few very, very small touches before, and then it seems there was one which was confirming our rule set, which was okay. But now we have a problem. We see this demand zone was broken again. There was already a lot of downside pressure, and it seems that this is just continuing, and we just had like a small, small base here, which is just making the chart to load more, the price, and then continue to drop. So let's see what's happening. Okay, before we keep that running, now that the bot is open, it has opened 2 positions, which is okay. So we see both positions are like okay. So we have one position which is in profit, the second one is like a bit negative, but okay. So as this is a live position, as if it would be live position, and you would monitor this, you would be able to manage this as well. So you could set something to break even, you can modify the position, whatever you like. So you don't need to let the bot do everything. If you like, okay, I think it's a bit risky, you can also close the position here, make a small profit and wait for the next one. But let's see what happens. Okay, boom. We fall through our both trades and we close them. Why did we close this? Yeah, we closed this position because we fall under our maximum allowed loss of the day. Means we don't want to risk all of our capital, all of our profits. So we have made 9% here. So we have lost now here 3% on that trade. So by statistics, and that's why we have the back testing, we should make more profits than losses, and our equity loss or our daily equity loss should be minimal compared to our profit. So just let this run, see when the next trade comes. Okay, so there was now a bit of action here on the chart. So we had a couple of new supply zones, a couple of new demand zones, and what you have seen here in this one again, we have built a new supply zone. We were waiting for our confirmations until we entered the trade. Then we've got the end confirmation, and yeah, sadly it broke through the supply zone, but no problem. We just had not reached our daily limits of our acceptable losses, so we've opened a second trade with the hope that this will come back, and this is exactly what happened. So it came back here, drove back into the new demand zone, opened another trade straight, and I guess it will just made another nice trade here, and that way it will continue now until yeah, December. I will leave it run for a bit and we'll no longer comment on the trades. I think the trade should be clear. So whenever we hit those zones, we will open a trade. Important thing, so this is not just an indicator we have downloaded from somewhere. So all of this logic for definition of the zones is written by ourselves. So it's our own logic. You see here on the right, there is a lot of parameters you can use for the configuration of those zones. You can be more aggressive, you can be very, very conservative, you can choose different time frames. So there's a lot of things you can do with those supply and demand zones. If the market is made for this, then it's a very, very good alternative to use. So let's run this a bit. Okay, I need to stop this here at this point. We have an interesting scenario here because we have like a hedge position. Of course, there were like twice the conditions met for supply zone and for demand zone, and yeah, the bot is opening both because we have allowed the bot to trade in both directions. And yeah, so this can happen, and yeah, hopefully both trades will end in our favor. All right, that was our backtest over 4 months, September, October, November, December. Why did this work so well? This worked so well because Bitcoin was walking on a sideways trend over the last 4 or 5 months. And to be honest, I expect Bitcoin to continue this price range, maybe a bit higher, maybe a bit lower over the next 1 or 2 years. So I don't expect like huge pumps over the next few years. We will see higher prices on Bitcoin, definitely, but into that direction, I guess we will always walk slowly to the side for the next year. Good. If you have any questions about this video, about the bot, about everything else, you can reach us through Instagram. The link is in the description. We have a website, we have this YouTube channel, and if you'd like to try this bot yourself, just message us on Instagram, and yeah, we will provide you all the information you need to start this. See you in the next one. Bye.